This is a Fox San Antonio special, live on the border.
Good evening. I'm Grace White, and welcome to this special that's all about exploring what life is like for people living along the South Texas border. The issue is extremely relevant right now, with leaders in Washington trying to develop reforms to the nation's immigration policies. In the next half hour, we're going to show you the impact of immigration on law enforcement, ranchers, and even one county's morgue. First, we're going to take a look at what deputies in rural counties face each night. They try to catch who they can as hundreds of undocumented immigrants are smuggled across the border. When we traveled down to Brooks County, we saw how thin resources are affecting the security of our border. As the sun goes down, the day is just beginning for the one Brooks County deputy on patrol. Things are quiet until darkness sets in and the chaos arrives. Around 8:30, we're dispatched to a bailout. That's code for a group of undocumented immigrants jumping out of a car to avoid being caught. How often do you guys see bailouts?
It happens on a daily basis.
This bailout happened just moments ago. We're on 281 just south of the checkpoint. A Brooks County deputy told us he saw about 20 people bail out of this SUV.
I clocked it at about 83 miles an hour. When I got in behind it, the driver actually started slowing down. He then sped up quickly. He decided to go ahead and pull into the grass where it is now.
The kind of the food they travel with, like that they pack through the woods, you know, for the journey through the brush. Their water jugs, they'll spray paint them black. So during the nighttime, you shine a light at it, you can't quite see the reflect or the white of the jug. Right here, you can see all the foot tracks right here where they crossed.
Everyone got away, except this one.
And the other officer you called.
Were you the driver?
Of course. It's my vehicle.
Are you worried about your friends out there in the rough terrain?
I ain't got nothing else to say, man.
But he kept talking.
They were just walking. I mean, the guy was at the store. He told me, he asked me for a ride, and that's about it. You know what I mean? It was only 5 people, and my other 2 friends were with me, but that's it. Just gave a ride, picked them up at the store, but that's it. That's about it, man.
Why do you think they left you?
Well, what I said. That's what I said. I ain't got nothing else to say.
A lot of times before we can even actually get the vehicle to a standstill, the smugglers wind up sending messages to the other scouts or other smugglers, and by the time we actually get it taken care of, they send messages like that.
As you can see, the vehicle has no key in it. It could be punched, but we're going to do a further investigation, see if the vehicle is actually stolen, because the vehicle is on.
While we were on this scene, another bailout happened a few miles up the road.
They had another, I think they caught like 4 aliens in that one of the constable units, so the wrecker actually picked up that one, and then we called out that Brett had another bailout, so it's just round and round to go.
At 9 o'clock, we head to a third bailout. This one in a part of the county we were just patrolling an hour ago. This was another bailout. Deputies say this driver crashed into a fence, and if you take a look inside the truck, you can see the middle console and the back seat have been ripped out. All signs deputies say this truck was used for smuggling.
They said anywhere from 20 to 25 people.
In this truck?
In this truck, yes.
And if they make it through the night, I guess they could show up on the road in the morning to be picked up?
Yes, if they stick with the guide or the coyote, if they stick with them, they'll normally just lay up for the night and get another vehicle to come in. It's just a waiting game for them.
Brooks County 911.
And believe it or not, sometimes in the middle of the night, they call 911.
They're really either in distress or they want to get picked up. A lot of these guys really don't know what they're coming in contact with, like through the brush. A lot of times they'll call through the 911. Usually has a bunch of different numbers on the telephone. A lot of these are Salvador numbers, Mexico numbers, Honduran numbers that we cannot generally call back.
Israel Gonzalez says there's one call he will always remember.
We had one sometime the beginning of the year. A lady had called that her husband had died in her arms.
It's political, you know. Anytime, nobody wants to come out and say that it's not secure down there or up here, you know, but the sad reality of it is it's not secure.
Chris Cabrera sits on Border Patrol Council, a group that in recent years has been more outspoken about their needs.
They come down from Washington. Ms. Napolitano comes down from Washington, and she tout how secure the border is, but yet she comes down with a huge security detail. You know, she's not out there walking the river. She's, you know, in her nice little shell, and she takes back a distorted view of what secure really is.
Specifically, Cabrera's group wants a processing center that would speed up the intake process and free up agents to go back into the field.
With so many bodies coming in, the system being so slow, we're just seeing a lopsided ratio of agents inside as opposed to outside.
Brooks County deputies feel the same way.
We're real short-handed, and we can't be everywhere at once. And the county's so big, and the manpower is just so small. I mean, we don't have a lot of manpower, and we're just spread pretty thin.
Especially when there's only one deputy to patrol the entire county.
You can just imagine we had a lot more manpower, what could be achieved here in this county.
If the border was secure, we wouldn't have so many deaths here in Brooks County.
Life on the border also includes death. Coming up, we'll show you the problem piling up for small communities who are already stretched thin.